Blair, I'd love you to share because when we talked about you and your body, you made a massive transformation because I mean, you look ripped now because you're working hard at it, and it's a focus for you for all the right reasons. But there was a time not so long ago where you would look in the mirror and you weren't particularly proud of what you saw. How did you make that huge transition to now? Well, you've got guns, haven't you? You could even show us your guns, actually. How did you make that transition?
Okay, so just to paint a picture, a colleague of mine who's also a coach, we do a lot of work together, and she reminded me recently that when we'd be traveling around, we'd be at the airport, whatever, about to fly somewhere, she would have to take my bag for me because I couldn't handle walking and pulling the bag at the same time. And I wasn't particularly overweight or anything. It's just I was mainly made of body fat, not muscle. And so things were hard. And I also have a hereditary condition which does affect the strength in my legs and grip strength and a few other bits and pieces. And so that was starting to really kick in, and it's degenerative. So it was starting to get worse and worse. Um, so, I'd always tried lots of things. And I want to link this, weave in Chester's point about personal choice. I tried lots of things, but it took a real wake up. So, firstly, it sort of took my mum getting Alzheimer's and ultimately dying of Alzheimer's, which, if any of you have been through that or are going through that, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's the worst thing to live through. And I started to research not how can you prevent Alzheimer's, because that's wishful thinking at this point, but what might be some of the things that contribute that you can take control of. There's what's in your influence and what isn't, right? My dad is also in a care home because of his physical abilities. He's in a wheelchair, he lives in a care home, he's very sharp mentally. But I had thought to myself, well, that's I'm going to end up in a care home, and I had bought into that as a my future reality. I better start saving now. Um, and I started to wonder whether that was inevitably my future. So it took something very personal, and I started trying different things. So I did all the things that everyone does. I wore a glucose monitor for a while. I did keto for a while. Various things. And then eventually, about 2.5 years ago, I met a personal trainer who said, we're going to look at everything. So we're going to get you in the gym, but we're also going to help you lose body fat. We're also going to get you walking. We're going to sort out your water intake. We're going to look at your protein, your sleep, everything. Um, and bit by bit layering on new behaviors to the point where now, of course, you don't know what the future holds, but I do not believe that it is an inevitability that I will end up in a care home. And that all of that got me looking at, to Chester's point, absolutely it's personal choice, but we can make it easier for people or harder for people. We can make it so that only those that are hugely motivated by something like my mum died of Alzheimer's, only those people who force the priority can do it. Or we can say, listen, we're going to make it a lot easier for people to take care of themselves by unpicking some of the stuff about the way we work that means that only those that are highly motivated can make it work. Remember, Mark, when we were in Athens, there was a guy there that brought his own snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really keen runner, and he had a bag of fruits and nuts, or wherever he went.
It's
Not the
Jason,
chocolate
yeah,
bar.
Jason, Chester coaches Jason, yeah.
Yeah, um, you have to be that kind of person to do it, because you have to say no to the pastry. And as you're saying no to the pastries, someone's saying, "Oh, go on, it's a special day. We're away for a conference. Why? Is you've got to have fun." It's very hard. Whereas if you'd come out into the break, nothing wrong with the event, was one of the best things I've ever been to. But the catering was what you always expect. If you came out, and sure, there were the pastries, but there was also some fruit, there was also some nuts, there was also some yogurt, there was also maybe some sliced meats. That would have been great. And then it would have been easy for people to find what they needed.
There's been an amazing pivot. My brain is recognizing this in this conversation. It kind of started with you're the leader at the front of the train trying to get people to come with you. And it's now, it's all about you, right? So it's all about how you treat yourself, how you take good care of yourself so that you can be the best leader possible of others.